All right, today we're back in Genesis 21 again for our mini message. And once again, if you didn't listen to yesterday's, I think it's really important that you go back and listen to that so you get the full context of what's happening here. Look with me in verse 15. When the water was gone, she put the boy in the shade of a bush. Then she went and sat down by herself about 100 yards away. "I don't want to watch the boy die," she said as she burst into tears. But God heard the boy crying. And the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven. "Hagar, what's wrong? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Go to him and comfort him, for I will make a great nation from his descendants." Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave the boy drink. And God was with the boy as he grew up in the wilderness. He became a skilled archer, and he settled in the wilderness of Paran. His mother arranged for him to marry a woman from the land of Egypt, which is actually was where Hagar was from. So here they are out in the wilderness. They've been kicked out of the family. Sarah wanted them gone. Abraham agreed, and God told him to. So now it's up to God to provide. And he does. God steps into the gap here. And he protects them. And the Bible says very clearly that God heard the boy crying. I mean, stop and kind of deal with this for a second. Here's a mother in a desert out of water. Her son, her young son, she leaves him sitting there and goes 100 yards away because she doesn't want to watch him die. The Bible says she burst into tears. I mean, just stop and think about what Hagar felt in this moment. I don't imagine she thought anything very good of Abraham in this moment. She definitely didn't think anything very good of Sarah in this moment. As her son, who she loved and who she cared for, she'd given birth to, she believes she's going to watch him die. But as God had told Abraham, "I'll take care of him," he steps into the gap. And it's Christ here that we see in this. When the boy cries, it says God opened Hagar's eyes and she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave the boy a drink. Now, this is Christ doing this because he says even there in verse 18, "I will make a great nation from his descendants." So, where'd the water come from? It kind of appears that God had just miraculously blinded her to the water. I think that served a cool purpose, a really good purpose, in that it's showing her, hey, I'm going to provide. You can trust me. Yeah, things didn't turn out like you wanted them to. It's difficult, but I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to care for you. And he did. He took care of him. And the Bible goes on to talk a little bit more about him. He grew up in the wilderness. He became a skillful archer. Settled in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother, who was from Egypt, went and found a wife for him from Egypt. And he does become a great nation. The people we know as the Arabic people today claim their descent from Ishmael. They did become a great nation. The people in places like Saudi Arabia and Iraq would claim descendants from Ishmael. So God provided. And God took care of him. See, even when things happen outside of God's plan, even when the sins of others affect us, nothing's out of God's control, and he'll provide. Be blessed. We'll see you again.